Hello and welcome to Up for Discussion Communication Wednesday. This is your host, Swarthy Communique, and we are here on Communication Wednesday Up for Discussion. And today we're going to basically, talk about a little, everybody getting ready for this holiday that we celebrate every year, on the 25th, everybody dress up and get all nice and get all they liquored up and all they bud and everybody cooking turkeys and dressing and stuffing and all that good old stuff, ready to chill with the family. And the best part about it, you get that day off, that day off from work. And usually it follows behind with, Black Friday, which, people feel like they get deals and sales, every year you've been celebrating it. I mean, since you were a child. I mean, we all have, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, a memorable moment and a big part of our lives, even as far as going to school and being indoctrinated with this holiday. We were always the ones to celebrate it, and our families would go out and make sure it was popping. And, I remember stories where, I lived in a little small town called Venice. I'm from Venice. And I lived in a small town, and everybody was like family there. So on the holidays, I would have my grandmother's house, my great grandmother's house, my great uncle's house, and great aunt's house. I would have like at least 5, 6 houses to go and pick and eat from every year, being in that community. And plus the church, because back then you used to go to church. So, I spent majority of my time on those days excited, because I knew those were the days that we were going to eat a lot of food and it was going to be yummy. Okay. Being young, you don't understand, because that's all you know. You think that's part of your culture, and you think that's what you're supposed to do every year on the 25th, because you've been doing it since school. You were told, oh yes, Thanksgiving is coming up, and we're going to eat, and it's going to be a good day, and everybody's going to have fun. But see, the problem in school, that the basic story about school Thanksgiving, and we all know the story, a school's Thanksgiving and what we were told in school about Thanksgiving. Basically in school, we were told that the Pilgrims and the Indians all got together in America, and they shared food with one another, recipes and things like that. And then afterwards, they all sat down to like a major type of feast. But we are looking back in history, we know it's a lie. Okay. We've been told lies. But I will read a little bit about Thanksgiving and what it is. And I'm just going to read a brief part of it. The Thanksgiving, especially in America. Thanksgiving is a federal holiday in the United States celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November. It originated as the Harvest Festival, Thanksgiving, and has clearly celebrated nationally on and off since 1789. With a proclamation by George Washington after a request by the Congress, Thomas Jefferson chose not to observe the holiday, and its celebration was intermittent until the presidency of Abraham Lincoln, when Thanksgiving became a federal holiday in 1863 during the American Civil War. Lincoln proclaimed the National Day of Thanksgiving in praise to our beneficent fathers who dwelleth in the heavens, to be celebrated on the last Thursday in November. Okay. Under President D. Roosevelt, the date was changed between 1939 to 1941 amid significant controversy proclaimed by Congress being on a fourth Thursday in November. Thanksgiving is regarded as being the beginning of fall-winter holiday seasons, along with Christmas and the New Year in American culture. Now, you see, I'm reading this from Wikipedia, and that's one thing that I don't like about Wikipedia. Wikipedia puts in what they want to put in about things. That is not the source of truth, people. Wikipedia is not the source of truth. You can't go to Wikipedia and be like, yeah, I got my information from Wikipedia because 98.7% of the time, matter of fact, 100% of the time, it's going to be wrong. The information going to be all mixed up. Okay? Because as you can see, Thanksgiving meant different things to different presidents. Okay? But we're going to take you back to the real, original truth about Thanksgiving. And my blog today that I wrote out is called The Truth About Thanksgiving Day and the Fall of an Empire. And when I say the fall of an empire, the Moors and the Moorish Empire, the fall of the Moorish Empire, the fall, get it? Fall season, harvest, the fall, Ottoman Empire. And I got that from Sabir Bey. He tipped that out, told me about the Ottoman Empire, autumn, the fall. It's like a celebration for them. It's symbolic to the Europeans, the fall season, because that's when they realized they won over the Moors who were ruling Granada in Spain, okay? So it's very important to understand history. And a lot of our people, especially the so-called African Americans or black people, definitely be getting their jig on celebrating. And I'd be like, y'all buy the most stuff on that day, but they killed your ancestors on that day. But y'all go all the way out. I mean, all the way out. Turkeys, hams, yams, beans, tomatoes, greens, all that. What the hell? Hog mogs. I'm like, chitlins. I'm like, why are y'all eating all this food? Number one. Number two, they slaughtered our ancestors for this shit. And y'all traders up here sitting up there eating like that? So that's why, in a way, I mean, if it was a situation where stuff come back, you know, maybe that's why things is happening to our people the way it's happening, because we are definitely partaking in these European holidays. We are so partaking in these European holidays, okay? And it's not fair because we weren't taught this in school. So we're under a spell and we don't even know it. We be making the same Europeans' families rich that actually took out our people. They whooped our asses, y'all. And then sat down and ate a feast. Okay? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start reading this blog. And this blog, I got some of my sources from, you know, Cheryl Laughlin, Wooding Bay, courtesy of Louise Oak Ill. Okay? So I got it from Cheryl Laughlin, Woodling Bay, courtesy of Louise Oak Ill. And I also did a little bit of researching into the symbolism that, you know, everything is symbolic. These people go by symbolism, okay? But I just got the idea and the storyline from them. But like I said, it's in my own words. But I still got some information from these sources. This is a source that I got it from. And it's basically, like I'm telling you, the fall of the Ottoman Empire. Fall, Empire, Thanksgiving, when the Moors gave Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand back, they gave them, the Europeans, Granada. They gave it up to them, okay? But we're going to go into the blog and I'm going to go ahead and read it. The Truth About Thanksgiving Day, the Fall of an Empire. It is that time of year again. It's cold outside. Leaves are changing colors, falling to the ground. Apple cider and pumpkin spice smells fill the air. On Thanksgiving Day, families gather themselves around to eat a feast, prepared by loved ones, and share stories about the years and what's happening. I'm quite sure so-called black people are not aware of how this holiday was one of the most bloodiest, disrespectful to the ancestor holidays that is celebrated every year. In the year 711 AD, a warrior of Moorish descent, Jebel Tariq, led an army consisting of 7,000 men, Moorish Americans and Arabs on the coast of Spain. Tariq and his army set out to find land to set up a fortress on April 30th. Tariq and his soldiers found a great cliff with a portion of land around that they named the area Rock of Jebel, later turned to Rock of Gibraltar. When the Moors arrived in Spain, commissioned by Governor Julian Sebda, he sought revenge against the wicked King Roderick of Spain. Roderick sexually took advantage of the governor's daughter. He was her guardian while she attended her training at the courts. Moors were dignified, proud, and noble civilization. Moors were a dignified, proud, and noble civilization who were well advanced in medicine, science, architecture, and a vast amount of inventions we all love to use today. The Great Mosque of Cordova is one of the major sites in Spain. Moors also invented the compass, which helped the Europeans to travel, unfortunately, enslaved the original people of the earth, in which they enslaved the people for the Europeans' economic prosperity and growth. The Europeans grew jealous of the Moors and their beautiful mosques, libraries, and schools, beautifully designed by the Moors. The Moors invented water fountains and public bathing restroom facilities, and every Moorish citizen that lived in the Moorish city was able to get a free education, including the women who at the time denied education in Europe during these times. The Moors of Spain brought light to Europe, which at the time engulfed in dark ages. Okay? Europeans did not know anything. Moors taught them everything they know. Okay? Everything. They don't know anything. The European knows nothing. And they know this is true. The European knows nothing. If it was not for the Moors and their contribution, the European would not know anything. Okay? The Moors taught them everything. As the jealousy of the Europeans continued to rise against the Moors' wonderful accomplishments, the Christian Spaniards fought hard to rid Europe of the good Muslim conquerors. Eventually, a war broke out between the Muslims and Christians. El Cid, featured Elizabeth Taylor, is a good film to watch, depicted this scene. The powerful, mighty Moors were able to hold off the Spaniard for nearly 800 years. But with all in the in-house fighting amongst the Moors and the interracial relationships between the Moorish men and the white Christian Spanish women who were always loyal to their European Jesus or God, eventually the folly weakened and destabilized the Moorish Empire and led to many defeats. In 1491, the Moors surrendered the city of Granada, their last stronghold. November 25th, 1941, the Moors signed the Act of Capitulation. Spain's King Ferdinand II and Queen Isabella took possession of the city. The Spanish Christians were thankful that the Moors gave up Granada, which ends up being Thanksgiving, ending the Islamic rule in the country. It was a merry and festive day in the eyes of the Europeans, reason for this day of thanks. So right there in that sentence, it tells you right now that Thanksgiving is for the European. It is not for the Moor. It is for the European. So why a majority of the Moors, unconscious Moors, celebrate this holiday? When the Moors were defeated, it brought three options: replace their Islamic and Asiatic culture with the European customs and Christianity, be expelled from Spain, or face execution. After the Moors were expelled, Cardinal Zima, with the help of Pope Alexander IV of Rome and Queen Isabella, ordered the destruction of the beautiful Moorish libraries and mosques. Many Moors forced into West Africa, where the Portuguese followed them, enslaving them. They sold Moors to the Americas as slaves. Some slaves came to the Americas with Christopher Columbus. He was a Spanish Jew, commissioned by Queen Isabella to go to the New World. Other Moors went into Anatolia. These expelled Moors from Spain, later called Turks, the Turkish Moors, and the country renamed Turkey by the European. The Europeans began to celebrate this holiday annually, every November 25th. All throughout Spain and Europe, the great feast was prepared. Turkey was not always the main dish served. It was usually a nasty-ass pig with an apple in his mouth. Europeans would overstuff The Europeans were overstuffed. The next day, that the Europeans would stuff themselves so much on that day that the next day nobody would be allowed to work. Reason for Black Friday, a whole nother story behind Black Friday, and we'll be talking about that in another podcast. There is a reason. That is the reason for the corporate world. The reason they give you the Fridays off is because of the symbolism, basically. Eventually, the Europeans must have grown bored and began to take revenge on the Moors, called Turks, who were minding their business in their country. The jealous Europeans were jealous because of the sexual relations that the Moors had with the Christian Spaniard women. Jealous European men called the Moors turkeys, mocking them and calling them uncivilized. Ain't that about a bitch? European men would sought out and go on a turkey shoot or hunt, hunting innocent men, women, and children in Anatolia. Okay, so these bastards went and hunted them. They were minding their business. They already gave up Granada in Spain. They already gave up Granada and went their own way. But here come these Europeans messing with them. So that explains the story right there. The war of the Europeans and the so-called Negroes in the Americas. It's been going on since the beginning of time. They've been after us. It's been hunting season. Okay, and this story gets worse. This is just, they were hunting our people, even when they were minding their own business, not even bothering the Europeans. They were jealous of them, afraid that they would come back because they were having sex with their women. Okay, they were jealous. That's why I be telling brothers, nothing against, you sleeping with a European, but you see it's causing problems. So maybe you need to leave Becky alone because it's causing many problems. Seriously. Anyway, Europeans, Christians would slaughter the dark-skinned Turkish Moors. Many Moors hunted, tied down, and burnt alive like the roast bird at Thanksgiving dinner. Moors that were not roasted laid on the ground, and the violent Europeans would carve the men alive. Like they do the bird on Thanksgiving. They would remove his internal organs and restuff his body with a certain fabric. There goes the symbolism for dressing. The Moorish women carved and cut apart the way meat eaters and butchers cut up meat. These sick Europeans would ask for a breast or thigh of a Moorish woman. It was all sexual related, and the connotative body parts as the women were sized up and critiqued by the size of the breast or the thickness of the thigh, and the texture and smoothness of the legs. After this violent act, the European men would engage in a feast, what we call today Thanksgiving. So in conclusion, after reading this gruesome story about what was done to the ancestors, and then the evil Christian Europeans came over to the Americas, slaughtering the rest of the Moors, aka indigenous people over in the land, this holiday is sick. And we should ban it from America. If they want to celebrate it, go back to Europe and celebrate your deadly holiday, okay? They lied in school about this story, and I'm going to expose a lie because time is up and the losers are telling their side. I love this age of information. So much I have learned about this lying European. The acts of these people did to innocent people because of jealousy is no excuse. Besides, my people, the so-called Black or African Americans, will celebrate the murder, rape, and humiliation of our ancestors. Such a disgrace. Then arrogantly say, I do not care about history. Well, you lunkhead, the reason you should care is that history repeats itself. And it's about that time. Just like this violent terrorist, the European, attacked the Aboriginals all over the world with violence and bloodshed, the climate or environment in 2019 is breeding the same type of atmosphere. Our ancestors lost and were humiliated. Honestly, in my opinion, not one more African American, aka Black, Latino, whatever, should ever celebrate this holiday ever again. This European is a monster, and I do not want no partakers in their customs or Helladays. Swarthy communicate. Now, I just read to you the truth about Thanksgiving, and I'm sorry I stuttered or stumbled a little bit, but my eyes sometimes be going in and out on me sometimes. But if you want to go back and read the blog for yourself, you can go to www.swarthy, communicate.com to read the Truth About Thanksgiving blog, for it will be posted there. And you can read for yourself, just in case you didn't catch up with me on the podcast. But yeah, they did a lot of gruesome things to our people in the name of this holiday. That's another reason I just can't sit up here and just, be all out to lunch and be ready to celebrate it. I mean, gosh, literally you were carving people up like food. That's carnivalism, straight up cannibalism. They were cannibals. Remember, we civilized the European, and that's what the European seems to be forgetting. And the Moors, the unconscious Moors that follow behind the European, forgets that they were the ones that started all this. They are the ones that started all this. You get what I'm saying? But they'll sit up there and give the European all these props. When we taught the European, how could you forget? They're not smarter than us. They never have been smarter than us. You know what I'm saying? They never been smarter than us. So our people really need to get it together, really. Our people really need to get it together. Because at the end of the day, we are losing the war. We're losing. Our people are becoming more and more consumed, more and more sucked into the matrix, not paying attention to the signs that's coming after them. These people are ready to rid of us. They keep talking about we're overpopulating the earth. It's too many people. The earth can't sustain all these people. This is where we from. How dare you tell us what Mother Nature can sustain? This our land. This our planet. You were created. You don't know nothing about this world. All this stuff is new to you. It's been in our DNA. Okay? We are the original ones. But you're trying to destroy our DNA with the genetic food you're trying to feed us, with the air you're poisoning, the television you got, brainwashing the masses. You are trying to destroy us. But you'll never be able to destroy us. We like roaches. In a way, we multiply. We're not going nowhere. We always going to be here. We always going to be here, so you might as well stop. We're not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. I'm sorry. I know you want us gone, but we're going to be here forever because we are the originators. Where are we going to go? Where can the original go? You can't get rid of the original, baby. So that's why I'm saying, I think it's time for us to tell the truth about these holidays. I think my people, like I said before, should not celebrate them because they were not meant for us to celebrate. You get what I'm saying? It was not meant for us to celebrate, guys. It really was not. But like I said, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears. And a lot of our people, unfortunately, will still celebrate it. They'll still celebrate it. Because that's how our people are. They're stiff-necked and rebellious. And they're like, oh, well, that's the past. But they don't even understand, it's not good to, you know what I'm saying? It is not good to sit up there and not pay attention to history. I mean, our people are afraid of books or something. They don't want to learn nothing. It's kind of sad, because you sit up here and you watch your people just falter away pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, I don't know what to say. I know, and then the next day is Black Friday. And, the story behind Black Friday supposedly was that they would sell the slaves half price on Black Friday. That the slaves in America, they would sell them half price on Black Friday. You could get a deal for a slave. Okay, so honestly, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot of history to bring back to the forefront, and I really believe that it's just time to start telling the truth on all sides. We really need to start telling the truth and getting the truth out there, because that's just not right. That holiday is gruesome. After actually reading the story about it, it like turned me off so bad. I'm like, ew. They was like really doing our people like that, like burning them alive, carving them at the stake. I'm like, damn, that's like some heartless ass shit, yo. Some heartless ass shit. Then took them they fled. They went hunting them down like they were turkeys, and instead of leaving well enough alone, just like they do today. Y'all don't see the history repeating itself. Y'all really don't see the history repeating itself, y'all. The history is really repeating itself, and I cannot believe that y'all don't see that history is truly repeating itself. They do the same thing today, everybody. They do the same thing today. Torment us, shoot us in the street for no reason, pick on us for no reason. We be minding our own business, and here they come. A lot of our people are keeping us in the dark. How come we didn't hear this story about Thanksgiving? Why did they tell us this story of Thanksgiving differently? Why didn't they tell us about that? Who in the hell has a right to control the information that we are to receive? Who gave them permission? This is what I want to know. Who gave them permission to do that? Who told them it was okay? You gotta be a slave if you ain't even getting the real damn news. Don't you think? You gotta be a slave if you can't even get the real fucking news from your own country that you live in, or your own continent that you're in. Because this is not a country. This is a continent. America is a continent. These Europeans came over to this continent and took over. And that's messed up that they did that. Because they were mad and jealous of the Moors because they had sex with their European women. That's why I'm telling these brothers, stop it. Please stop having sex with these European women. Get these men back their women if that's what they fighting you for. You know what I'm saying? Give them back. Because that's crazy. They was going around carving, and we lost our empire because of that. Something you just supposed to leave alone. You know what I mean? Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed the content, I don't like talking on this stuff, guys. But hey, if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like my Up for Discussion, the blog and podcast with Swarthy Communique. Follow me on Twitter and follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on Helladay. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel. I started putting some videos up there. My speaker podcast information is up in there. I got some speaker episodes on YouTube. If you can't get to the podcast, you can go to YouTube and watch it. I also put out a magical spell video that I'm in there, my weight loss spell that I did, my very first weight loss spell I put up. And just go and basically check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I enjoy your day. I mean, I don't want to say enjoy your holiday because I don't believe in it. And really, for our people, just hope you don't choke on a bone or some weird stuff don't happen to you because it's disrespectful. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it is hella disrespectful to celebrate a holiday that's disrespectful to our ancestors. Where's your loyalty at? You know what I'm saying? Where's your loyalty? Because I know they wouldn't celebrate a holiday if it was disrespectful to their ancestors, like the Holocaust. I don't see them going around celebrating the Holocaust. You get what I'm saying? I don't see them doing that at all. Seriously. I really don't. So what's wrong with our people to where the so-called black people celebrate the holidays that was aimed toward or for their destruction? I'll never get it for the likes of me. I will never ever understand why our people are so stiff-necked and rebellious. I just will never get it, because our people are rebellious and stiff-necked. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and head out. Nice talking with you guys, and check me out Friday for Freestyle Friday with Swarthy Communique. I'll be leaving you my special message in that podcast. But check me out for Friday, Freestyle Fridays, this Friday at 8 p.m. on Anchor FM, the podcast. All right? Peace.
I've been moving work all weekend, no sleep. I've been moving work all weekend, no sleep. Yeah. I've been moving work all weekend, no sleep. Yeah. I've been moving work all weekend, no sleep.
Thanks for tuning into the show. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. And let me explain. Anchor is a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And the best part about it, it's absolutely free. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.